I've been away for a while, but I think you've been following up on me.
Those are scary, they're dangerous. I think they've killed people.
This is it.
Strike a pose.
Can you raise your arms up?
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
If I get in trouble, I get in trouble.
And I look up and I see a gargoyle sitting on the woodshed.
This looks like the beginning of the footfall. As I was saying, we just passed one of the creeks where Daryl Adams and I saw like a ball this size, a white ball, glide down the creek out through the forest across the Weyerhaeuser Road and dissipate like glitter. And then that area right here is a double wide on the mountains, and over here is a yurt, and that's a father and daughter operation. And the father, cat went missing and then suddenly showed up weeks later on the back patio, and his head was smashed. It was like delivered to him. And now we're getting to the almoon lab, so don't show the road. So this is the road we would walk out on. A lot of the stuff that would happen right here in this shrubbery, and it was a traffic area for them coming up and out of the creek to the actual house. And we'd hear a lot of sounds just right in this area from the house up here. Now, Wormies is right here. Now, he's not home, but he said we could park right here at the barn and walk in. So let's see if we can find a shady spot. This must be the neighborhood dog. Oh, you think it's a gun? Come on. You don't like that thing.
Hi. Hello. Hello.
So there's the almoon lab. We'll walk down there in a minute. See the crest of the shop over here with the orange roof. And so between Wormy's house, you can see the distance. The foliage, though, has grown up significantly. There's a point where we could see a lot more. And there's a natural spring right here that runs between the two properties. But this is the woodshed that Wormy went in and saw blue eye shine on this road. And so backed up, and this thing started coming forward. And then over here, this is where this giant orange glow was. We could see it from Daryl's house. It looked like the forest was on fire. Then suddenly it just blinked out. I'm gonna have to look around. So we are getting right up. We're getting right up next to Daryl's old property. Basically, there's this blackberries right here between us and the backyard. So my trailer would have been, you see the edge of the roof, that's the rain gutter that got squeezed right there. And you see that in Flash of Beauty. And then the trailer was just to the right of it, right here. So these are the blackberries in the aquifer. And one time, about this time of year, Daryl and I came out by the trailer and we felt it raining. Just in one spot. Just like a ghost rain. And you were talking the other day about like psychopaths that think it's raining or something like that. Yeah. I was like, wait a second, why does that sound familiar? Like, it was just me, but we both felt it. It was like a cold mist coming out of the air. You didn't see like pellets, drizzle, but like maybe in the produce aisle.
Yeah, the vegetable spray. Ooh, I found a ball. Look what I found. Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
Had we stayed here and the property not sold, we were getting to the point, Daryl and I both felt this way, that someone was going to like be taken periodically or abducted or something. Like there was something getting ready to ramp up here, and it was moving in close all the time. And this is where a lot of it would happen. Now I want to check and see if they're home. I don't want to just like be filming their land. This is it. if you kind of recognize it from the documentary. So my trailer was parked right here, facing that way, and it was a lot more manicured. My boat would have been there, and then the inside of the shop, right? Like the snarling drumming happened right against that wall. And I think you can still see the bent. Oh yeah, you can see how the rain gutter is pulled. I'll zoom in here in the video and see how the rain gutter is sealed to the wall down below.
Yeah.
And then it's pulled away.
Yeah.
You can see where it's pinched about 3/4 of the way up.
Yep. Totally.
This is where that glowing box of light was coming off the road here this way. 3 photos of a box of light about this tall. And then the Tic Tac that Daryl filmed went right across the sky right here. And this is where they like to jump down a lot of times. There was one moment where Daryl and I were doing a night walk. We came back to my trailer, and as we walked into the front door of my trailer to grab a thermal camera that was hiding, there was something that ran between Daryl and I on 2 legs. It sounded like an elephant on 2 legs coming right through these bushes. I'm standing here, Daryl's standing there, right between us, right behind us, and then went right into these bushes. Now see this fence here? They would pull these boards down periodically, so you'd come here and these fence boards would be yanked off. So something was hanging out, we figure, on that side of that house because it was empty for the longest time.
It's pretty cool.
I'm gonna film it real quick, just
Okay.
a second. If I get in trouble, I get in trouble.
It's hot.
Oh yeah, you can see right there how it's pinched. And I don't see the dirt. Still hear the clayish dirt. But so much had happened right in this area. Well, Allie's sitting in the car. It's still pretty hot out here. I'm going up above Wormy's house to see where possibly these footprints were found. I don't quite know where to look. I don't know if you can hear that or not. It's pretty loud. See if there's some kind of interference here. There's a spot over here too. Okay, I think this might be the spot up here because there were apple trees in the shot. I think this is it. So Wormy's house is here. This looks like the beginning of the footfall.
Okay, something's coming through here, and it's big. I'm going to follow its footsteps here. Whoa. It's over here now. And its footsteps are far apart. Whatever it is, I hope it's not sleeping over here. You tell me what it's going to plant its feet 3 to 6 feet apart. Look, there's another one clear over there.
you can see plainly right here, foot, right through here, down through here. Kind of lose track of it here. This is flipped over. I don't know where the apple tree is. He said there's apples taken at 12 feet. More through here. They may have been checking out this tree. More through here. Hard to distinguish. Nothing really through here. Nothing through here. I can tell. I'll check this spot out. This looks like he gets lots of traffic through here. In fact, it looks like he drives this road. He must have a side-by-side. Come on. So there's some footfall over this barbed wire fence, and I'm just checking to see if there's any hairs. Nothing. See what this is. So I know you're here. I can only imagine where you're standing or doing your thing. But while we're here, can you show us yourselves? Give us a sign you're here. Apport something. Lights, orbs, UFOs, whatever. We're only here for a limited time. And as you know, I've been away for a while. But I think you've been following up on me. Wormy is here. He just showed up, but look at who else showed up. This is some kind of crazy omen.
It was on your shirt.
Yeah, he was on my shirt,
He
crawling
liked
up
your
my
shirt.
back. And I've never seen them out here before, but I've never camped in a field here.
He's trying to climb on the GoPro.
Can you strike a pose?
Strike a pose.
Can you raise your arms up?
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
Yeah, can you wave? Thank you.
That's awesome.
What do you think?
We've got a few new friends out here.
What's the dog's name?
Mia.
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 Mia. Doesn't like the GoPro. So this is where we are in the evening. A lot of the activity, again, generally starts as the sun goes down, but heats up around 1 in the morning. We thought we'd try it this way tonight. Tent is maybe easier than setting this up. I don't know yet, but we're gonna try it out.
But we have windows
We have
that we
windows.
can open, and yeah.
Yeah. So, again, Almoon Lab, old property right behind those trees. And it's going to be an interesting evening. We have a live in about an hour we're going to do on TikTok, so we're setting up for that. Wormy is tired.
Yeah.
He's been at the river all day for like a memorial or a wake, about an hour-and-a-half drive from here. It was hot. So if he comes back, I'll see if I can record a little bit of our conversation here with him and get him to possibly go on a live. But this is the way it works. You just kind of go to war with the army you got. In the morning, we're getting ready to meet Tara Harris, medium psychic from this area. Talks to the dead and Bigfoot. We're going to meet her at 10. Anyway, Mia, I know you don't like the camera, but you're so cute.
She's very cute.
All right, we're gonna get ready here, and
Sorry, we called you a boy earlier.
that's it for now. Here's where we're sleeping tonight. I can't really turn this. I can't really turn this down. This is the sleeping arrangements. Okay, guys, we're gonna be here all night. I'll turn this off, just showing people around. Night one at the Almoon lab, and it got a little bit interesting last night, but we're mainly confined to doing our live show on TikTok, and that's when the stuff started to happen. Mainly back here. Kind of as soon as we started to go live. You can see there's stuff that's been walking around back in here. We heard some calls and some heavy footfall, stick breaks. Very weird sound I'd never heard before. When all the Pyrenees dogs, which are like a sheepdog out here, when those start going off, that's when you know you're gonna have action. And they were going crazier than I've ever heard them go before. And about 1:30 in the morning, they were going off so bad. All of a sudden it sounded like this huge, and it sounds crazy, but it sounded like a giant rattlesnake. Like the biggest rattlesnake, like superhuman rattlesnake, went off. And then they went really crazy. Like, I'd never heard anything like it before. And we've heard all sorts of craziness here. I didn't even know this trail was here. Allie's still asleep, and I just want to see this real quick. We have to break camp, get out of here, charge our stuff real quick. It's 6:30 in the morning, and then head out to interview Tara Harris. Oh yeah, he's got little offshoots all over here. It's like he's making a little place for these guys to live. You can see they've done some clear cutting up here, which is good for Wormy, because forest fires are a thing this way.
Nestled in the historic undertown of Port Townsend, Washington, discover Sacred Portal, your gateway to mystical exploration. Here you'll find curated crystals, unique gifts, metaphysical tools, workshops, and even personal astrology and tarot readings.
Welcoming all, Sacred Portal inspires and elevates your spiritual journey. Step in to explore themed wonders, connect with your higher self, and embrace magic. More than a store, Sacred Portal is a destination for exploration, connection, and inner wisdom.
All right, we're here today with Tara Harris of A Flash of Beauty and Lane Paranormal. Tara, we met all those years ago here in Cottage Grove, a town that you don't feel a lot of respect for. In fact, disdain for this town. But I think at least this spot is charming. But this town is steeped in mystery, and you're kind of a part of that. So just kind of reintroduce yourself to the channel.
So my name's Tara. I grew up out in London, which is technically part of Cottage Grove. And I love it out there. I don't have much of a fondness for the town itself, just because I don't like the energy here. But it is where we met, so.
Mm-hmm. So just so people know, I was immediately skeptical over Tara.
So was I.
Yeah, I was skeptical over the claims of you and your group that professed to have remarkable EVPs, really. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't until I started listening to the EVPs that you're connecting with spirit on command at the Axe and Fiddle when we were doing these shows. So as the story goes, we were talking about Bigfoot, and then suddenly everything shifted when you came in and just like, hey, I know the area where stuff is happening. This is where I do spirit clearings. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, maybe you could come out that way. And so I started hearing your EVPs. We brought you out to the almoon lab, and then immediately you started connecting with the land. And so why is that? Is there something special, first of all, about that area where you do clearings? Because you could go anywhere and do it, but you go there.
And I know, and it's way out of the way too. So there's two reasons I go there. One reason is I grew up out there. And so I have family history, and I have several generations history out there. I also have my grandpa, that's where they lived, and that's where we lived. And my grandpa I'm very close to. And he has showed me that he lived a past life out there, including his most recent life. He also had another life out there during the times of when the Native Americans were out there. And so he told me, if you go, you need to go up, and there's a spot up there that's called a sacred space. And a sacred space is somewhere where the nasty things can't bother you. And it's all about the land. It doesn't necessarily mean like, I don't know, it's really hard to explain. I wish I could explain it better, but there's certain places on the earth that they consider sacred spaces. It's what they call them. So it's places there's, like there could be a house built on a sacred spot. It could be in a forest like what I chose, or what they chose for me rather. And so they said, you have to go up there. And so my friend and I, who I work with and do clearings with, we decided to follow their instructions. So we drive up there, and I'm really familiar with the area because that's where I grew up. Mm-hmm. And so, but there's so many logging roads, and as you know, like back roads you can get lost on. And so they took us up there and they told us exactly where to go. So I followed their instruction. We went up there. They said there's 2 sacred spaces up there. The reason that we go to the one that we do is because it's closer. It's the only reason. The other one is clear up. Like it's much further up that mountain. And we did go up there, and that's when we went up there, and it ended up being dark by the time we came back. And I was like, we're not going to find our way back. There's no way, because you know how many offshoots and roads and logging roads? So I'm like, okay, well, we're not going to find our way back. And she goes, well, let's just drive down the mountain. Well, you know how that goes, So I said, we're just not going to find our way back. And all of a sudden, as we're driving, I can see 2 glowing tire marks in the road, like glowing like this gold color or yellow or whatever. And I'm like, do you see that? No, she doesn't see it. I'm like, can you not see that? And I'm driving and I'm like, I can see it. And I hear in my head, just follow the tracks. It took us right down to the road. Like the whole way. And so that's how I was able to find our way down from that spot.
This is basically what we'd call the almoon wilderness. Like the lab is the house down below, the wilderness is the section where we got the light anomaly on camera from 2 different angles, where you're talking to Brett and Mike. It's where you got the crystal foot.
I got that in the sacred spot right where we do our work.
And did you have a sighting up there too, like a visual sighting? You guys saw something in a sacred space, didn't you, at one point?
Yeah, so where I got the crystal foot, or whatever you want to call it, was where we normally do our work. And we'd been doing work up there for years. It had been a few years before I even found that. But we were doing a clearing, or that's what we call them, which is basically earthbound spirits or ghosts or whatever you want to call them get stuck, and then we help them cross over. But it's easy to do our work there because it is a sacred space. Nothing nasty can get in and bother us while we're working. And so we were there just doing that, doing our normal thing, and just like off to the side there was what everybody calls Bigfoot standing there. And I was like, there's no way that's real. You know, because I see so many things in my head. It's like, there's no way it's real. But she saw it too. So I was like, we have to get out of here. It was scary. Like, I won't reenact it. The oh my God moment. But then like we're trying to get out, but it's real, you know, because you've been there. It's hard to like maneuver through the bushes, like get out. And we're sitting there, we gotta go. And then I look and he just disappears. Did not walk off. There was no noise. It wasn't like you hear him running through the brush or whatever. It just gone. Disappeared. I'm like, okay, that wasn't real. She's like, well, yeah, but I saw it too. Like, it's not like, like we're not both crazy. I'm like, well, we both could be crazy, but there's no way we both saw it at the same time. Yeah. And heard the same thing, smelled the same thing. Like, it's just not possible for that to be exactly the same. So I'm like, we definitely saw that. Well, then we started getting stuff communicated from the other side that yes, this is real, but we wanted to introduce you, but not in a scary way, you know? So that's what we got from it later, was that we needed to know that it was real without being scared half to death, because I don't think they wanted us to be scared from going up there. Because if it would have happened like it happens with other people, where they see one in the bushes or they get rocks thrown at, whatever, right? We probably would never go up there again. So I think that they did it that way. But so I've been able to communicate with that particular one for quite some time. I don't know how long it's been, a few years. 3 years maybe, I don't remember.
And the crystal foot, how did that come about?
So he told me that he was going to leave me something that I could communicate with him better, which I didn't know that at the time. He just said he was going to leave me, I guess you guys call them gifts or whatever, right? And so we went up, and right where we saw him standing, it was literally just sticking out of the ground. And I walked up to it, they told me where to go, and it was just right where he was standing, so I walk over there, and it's just sticking, and so I took it home, and it does work. You know, and I need things proved to me. I'm skeptic just like you are. Like, I have a hard time with this stuff, because I would have never thought it was real. Never thought about it either way, whether it wasn't, whether it was. I just didn't think about it because it's not in my world, right? So I was kind of surprised that they exist. I'm like, there's no way. This is crazy.
But now looking back, since this sacred space, we already knew it was a Bigfoot hotspot. It's been talked about since the late 80s, as far as I know.
Which area. I didn't know that.
So you never, looking back, did you have anything that happened just like, now wait a second, we heard that 2 years ago. Was that them kind of deal?
So that did happen with what you guys call tree knocking. We have had that happen and didn't know, but we deal with so many different kinds of entities that we weren't sure, you know, and we always try to ask, like, what was that, you know, but we did hear that, and we heard it before we saw him, and we also heard it after, just to, maybe for them to verify that it was, you know, what it was.
You said we deal with so many different entities or spirits. Can you go through the list in your head of what you deal with?
I can give you a few. I mean, we'd be here all day if I...
You can't give the audience an idea of how many we're talking, besides Sasquatch or Aolan.
Are you talking about ones that come through from other dimensions, or ones that are constantly here? I mean, they all do
Things
come
that
from
the
different
average
dimensions.
person would be shocked that you deal with. Just say, list what they are, what they look like, and go through a list.
Okay, I'll give you the ones that I deal with the most frequently, and maybe the ones that are the most scary, I suppose. So first, somebody had asked me at the event about Wolfman, or I think that's what they call it, Dog Man, something like that. Anyway, that's just the name that they give to those that come, that creature that comes through that people have seen that look, I should say, people also call them skinwalkers, but they're all the same thing. And like I was telling them, they were never a person. They come through just like Bigfoot does. Those are scary. They're dangerous. I think they've killed people. We have not dealt with one of those personally, and I think there's a reason. I think the other side keeps us from that because they are dangerous. Those are not entities that I probably do not have enough experience yet to be able to get one of those, because they are solid like Bigfoot is. They're dangerous. So maybe someday I'll deal with one of those, but somebody had asked about that. So we don't deal with those. I've never dealt with one of those one-on-one. They kind of scare me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We can get you a water.
It's funny, I start talking about that and now I can't breathe.
Yeah, that is weird.
All right, so.
Take your time. We're in no hurry right now.
Yeah, give me a second, I can't breathe.
Just so you know, we're on our way down to the redwoods to look into...
They're down there, just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another name for those, but I can't pronounce it.
Okay.
That's just the name humans have given it, but those things are nasty. Those I haven't dealt with. Someday I feel like I'm going to, though. I think it's just preparing for that. But the things that aren't solid, can't, because there's only a couple things that can become solid, right? In our world or our dimension or whatever. Those are one of them. Bigfoot's one of them. What they call the rake is one of them. And there's also one that they call like a crawler or something like that. Those are also solid. Those are the four main ones that are solid in our dimension. The ones that we deal with mostly aren't, but people can see them. There are people that can see them. I'll say this one first because this is what we see almost everywhere. We call them fluffies. They're the size of like a chihuahua, and they're like a ball of fluff, and they look super cute. But then they open their mouth and they're all teeth, and those ones will drain your energy. They climb on you. Like if you feel something on your head, do you ever feel like something's in your hair? Those things do that. They're everywhere. But those things just drain your energy. They're not like malicious. They're not out to they don't whisper in your ear. You know what I mean? They're dumb, right? So we deal with those, but those are super easy to get rid of. Those crawl out of the same hole as like the rainas, if I've ever told you about those. Those are what we deal with the most. They call themselves a reina. They look human. They're not human. There's a male version and a female version. Those are the nasty, nasty ones. Those are the ones that people can think are ghosts. They're not. They're pretty horrible. They can cause depression, anger, anxiety. Those are ones people can see. They whisper in your ear. Some people will say, I saw a witch. That's what they'll make themselves look like that to scare people. Those crawl out of holes. They're horrible. They're everywhere. And I deal with those. I've been dealing with those for like 10 years. A lot of times when people have bad hauntings at their house, that's what they are. Mm-hmm. And so we have to, and those things they're not human, so they just get thrown back in the hole, and angels will close the hole up, or some of my helpers that I work with will kill them, because they're creatures, they're not people. But it's very confusing because they look human. Wow. So those are what we deal with the most. Then you have the ones that we see that are like people will see them, where do you think horror movies come from, right? The things that people draw, like the scary things that crawl on your ceilings, you know what I mean? Like the black, creepy things with the long arms and long legs that crawl on your ceiling. We deal with that sort of thing. And there are some of those that they're not out there causing problems. They're stealing energy and they're just crawling around. But then there are some that actually cause issue for people and can do the same thing that the rainas do. They can cause depression, anxiety, anger. They can cause alcoholism to be worse. They can cause drug use to be worse, that sort of thing. And we deal with those a lot because it's easy for those to attach to people because there's so much negativity in the world, and that's what they seek out. So we deal with a lot of those.
When you have guides come your way, Some of the guides you talk about remind me of these dogmen that you're talking about right now, like Anubis, right? Like Egyptian jackal-looking headed dogmen.
Yes.
They're your guides. So talk about your guides.
So I'm not allowed, and this sucks for me, and I'm not. It really sucks. I'm not allowed to talk about some of the helpers that I have, specifically that one.
Okay.
They very clearly told me, and I know it sounds nuts, that I'm not allowed to until the 2040s. I don't know why. It has something to do with what's going on in the world, but publicly, I can, I can tell my friends, but publicly, I can't talk about them. I can talk about other ones. I just can't talk about them. And I don't know why, and they won't tell me why.
Okay. What's interesting about that is I've met other people that are gifted that have described the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I use them for this.
Yeah.
And they're really intimidating, and people, back off. So
Well,
I use them like that.
When people see them, they think that there's something bad, not good. And privately, like I've done readings for people that are like, I have this thing, it's super scary, like we're so scared, and I have to tell them it's not anything that's gonna hurt you. There's a reason they look the way that they do. But like to go into detail, I'm not allowed to talk about it yet. I don't know why. It makes no sense why. I would think that they'd want me to tell people about them because they're there to help, but I'm very specifically told I cannot talk about them.
Okay.
I can talk about other ones, I just can't talk about them.
What do you mean other ones?
Like my other helpers. So like I have, this is gonna sound nuts. I always feel like I sound so crazy. I'll tell you about another one that I've got that helps, and he helps with things that the other helpers don't help with, if that makes sense. So there's certain creatures from different dimensions that one will help with where the other can't. And I don't know why that is, other than I think it depends on where they come from. So I was out at the barn and I was walking back to my truck and I look up and I see a gargoyle sitting on the woodshed. Like literally like a stone. And I'm like, nope, didn't see it. And I keep walking, I look back, I'm like, nope, it's not there. He was there. He was there. And I'm like, what is that? So I had to ask my guide, what is that? And they're like, it's a gargoyle. Okay, great. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. And then they said, well, he's here to help you. And so over the years, he comes and he shows up, and he's named Greg, and he shows up to help with certain creatures from different dimensions. And he kills certain ones, or he takes away certain ones. So he's somebody who comes when I need him, and they'll tell me. So if I'm dealing with some things, that I hadn't seen, or something that I have seen before and I know that he takes care of, I just tell the other side, I need Greg, and he comes and gets it. So that's the gargoyle.
And he looks like the stereotypical
He does.
gargoyle.
Yes. Yep. And they can change their size. So I've seen him like the normal size, 4 feet, whatever, like stone. And I have seen him massive, like he could take up this entire area that we're sitting in. Like I've seen him huge. They change their size depending on what they're dealing with. So for instance, another one that we have, my daughter, so everybody has a totem, which is an animal that everybody has like a guide, right? My daughter's totem is a phoenix, and we call the phoenix sometimes, and they come in, and she comes in and helps with it, depending on what we're doing. And they can use like their fire to burn things, either good or bad. Like sometimes they'll use their fire to cleanse an area, kind of like the angels do. So there's a couple different things that we use depending on what we're dealing with. The other side has told us we have a lot of help, because I never know, because I don't deal with other people. I don't work with other people. I just work with me and, my partner. We don't go out and work with other groups. We don't work with other psychics or whatever. And so I don't know what's different about us than them. And they tell us that we have a lot of help compared to other people. So.
You brought up your daughter. How many kids do you have?
3.
Are any of them?
All of them.
Showing signs?
Yeah.
Do you take them out?
Sometimes I'll take the youngest. She's gone with me. She actually saw the Bigfoot that I saw, and she saw his family that he is with. So, and she described him before I even said anything about it. I didn't even tell her because I wanted to see if she could sense anything. So.
Okay, and you call them Aolan.
Yep.
Is that an individual? Or is that
So-
a clan?
He's expressed to me that it's where he comes from. That's the place they come from. And then he likes to be called, or they like to be called that. So it's like their name plus where they come from.
And describe where they come from again.
So I can only tell you what I've seen. And when they popped me into it, it was like, it's like our world, except for, it's different. It kind of looks like Earth. The trees that I saw were on the outline, but they were they were different. They didn't look like these trees. They were like, almost like if you did a drawing of trees and you don't know how to draw a tree. I don't know how to explain that. And then there were these big crystal things coming out of the ground, and they were as high as these trees are. And they were everywhere. These big crystal things everywhere. And I was like, well, what are these for? And they said it's for energy. They used the energy from them. So, and it was kind of barren because the trees were on the outline, kind of like as far as that mountain is. And then that's when I asked them, like, well, why do you come here? And they said they just like it here better. And they've been coming here a long time.
And not just the almoon lab, like they're all over.
They're
everywhere.
all over the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
But again, there's something unique about that area. It's a sacred space. There's 2 of them. It's all above the almoon lab.
Yep.
What's your instincts about that area? Because you said there's also dark portals up that way that need to be closed.
Yep.
What did you mean by that?
So there are some creatures, or whatever you want to call them. Some people call them demons, whatever they are. They can open them themselves. Very few can open them themselves. And then people will open them, sometimes intentionally or non-intentionally. They can have the intention they're doing something else, and they're up there doing their thing, and they can open a portal. So once they get opened, if they're opened too long, I've seen them in houses even, but yeah, up there too, where they've been open for so long, they're really hard to close. Like, I can close smaller ones, and I can call angels to close big ones, but when they're really just nasty and they've been there for decades or hundreds of years, they're really hard to close. You can't just go in and go, oh, I'm going to close this. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. You have to get a lot of help to close them. And then you got to shove everything back into it that's been crawling out of it. And then they're trying to crawl out of it while you're trying to close it. It's like a horror movie, I swear. But yes.
Like whack-a-mole.
Yeah. Yep.
Are the portals fixed or do they move?
No, they're fixed.
Okay, so they don't change or wither or blow around.
No.
They're fixed.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to say, in my experience, what I know, they stay put. I've never seen them move.
And have you been anywhere inside of one?
The only one that I think that I've been in is just Aolan's, when they popped me into that one.
So popped you in, like literally popped you into that?
Yeah, they
realm.
just took me right in there. Not physically, I didn't walk into it. Like in my mind, they just...
Did it feel different, like people describe being in an enclosed kind of bubble where it's devoid of sound when they're in a hot spot, or the air feels differently? Did it feel different in there?
No, because it wasn't physical. So it's kind of like, in my mind, I can go different places. I mean, everybody does it, especially at night. We all leave our bodies, right? Some people can do it on demand. I'm not one of those people. So they kind of just took me there. It didn't feel like that because it was my mind. It wasn't me physically. So I didn't really feel any sensations, right? It's just all I could do was see it. So I could just see what was happening. The only time I felt it with him is when he put me in his body, and I could feel all of that. I could feel every bit of that.
So you put like a body writing, like you went inside his body?
Right, which I did not believe in one bit until it happened.
Describe that.
So he told me that I could use that crystal to communicate with him, and I was like, yeah, right, whatever, right? So I was like, well, I'll see if it works. Like instantly. He said to put it on my head. I did that, and I was instantly inside his body, running through the grass, up the mountain. I could feel everything. I could feel the grass on my leg. I could feel when he would move the trees out of the way. I could feel what it felt like when he was like on the bottom of his feet. Like, I could feel everything. I could feel when he was looking around. I could feel how he felt. and I could feel the fear or the anxiety when I was running up that hill. And I think that he did that on purpose to make me know why he's not up there anymore. I don't actually think that he was scared. I think he wanted me to know why. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because they'll do that. So running up that hill, I felt all of that. And then when I got up to the top of that road and I looked down the road, I could see 3 cop cars and an ambulance. And then he looked back and I could see the man with the rifle, the dog, and the Honda. And I didn't know at the time that they were 2 different warnings. They weren't connected. I only knew that afterwards because I thought they were connected somehow. Because why would he show me that and that at the same time? But I think he was showing me 2 different things.
2 different timelines?
Or, well, 2 different events. Like, this man was not connected to the cop cars and the ambulance.
Okay, describe this man and why he's important.
The man is important because the man is out there hunting him, and that's why he wanted me to know he wasn't going to be up there anymore. That man is up there hunting Bigfoot with his dog.
Describe him.
I'm really bad with weights and sizes, but I'd say he's about 5'8", 160, black and white dog, kind of long hair dog. Oh, it's got some brown on it. And then he was wearing jeans, he had a t-shirt, he had a coat on that was open, he was carrying a rifle, he had a cap on, and he's brown hair, and he was running around with the dog looking for Bigfoot. That was part of the warning. Also, they showed me his car. He drives a Honda, and it's either dark blue, dark gray, but it was an older style car. And he's up there hunting them, or he was at the time, and that's why I think he showed me that. The cop cars and the ambulance were for the that happened up there. They were 2 different instances. That guy did not kill those people. The people that died, or the person that died up there.
You're talking about the gal that was unalive that was burned.
Right.
Okay. Did you know that was going to happen?
No.
Okay.
The only thing I got, because I was up there after it had happened and didn't know about it. We were there like that next day. And nobody told us anything. They didn't tell us, they didn't warn us, nothing.
Yeah, because they cleaned up the site and left. Like it never happened. It barely even made the news.
Yeah, I think...
they caught the guy, but...
Yeah, and I think that was for that, and he was for the other reason. But I think he was giving me 2 warnings. 1, don't come up here anymore because this is happening, and also this is happening, and this is why we are not up here right now. Because right now, the one that I communicate with is in Southern Oregon right now.
What area?
So I don't know the areas very well, but it's like past Ashland. You know, it's down that way. Ashland, it's past that. There's a river that they're next to because I can see the river, and they're staying there until it's safe to come back here. And I think it's safe now. I don't see that guy. Like, I'm not seeing in my head. Not saying that's 100%, but I think it's probably okay now. But the impression they gave me was that they're going to be gone for a while.
Yeah. Okay, 3.
He hasn't been back yet.
Want to ask it again?
So I made something, like I handmade something and left it as a gift down there at the stump. And I don't know, can I ask, like, if you can pick up on whether or not maybe one of them took it? Because it disappeared.
Wasn't them because they've not been back.
Okay. So I wonder what else could be up there. It was a elongated skull made out of
I almost feel like a human took it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Human. I'm getting human. So.
What is up there, Terry? Because there's stuff still going on. We were up there filming.
Well, there's still some up there. It's just he's not up there. Mm-hmm. Because there is. I've seen at least one other that's up there, a male.
Are there other things up there?
Oh yeah.
Like what?
Well, luckily not Dogman yet, or whatever you call him. So there are other things up there. They call them elementals. I don't deal with those very often. I see them. Like when we're up there, I'll see them. Most of them are not dangerous, but the other Bigfoot that I've seen there, we've been told to stay away from that one. And that's when I asked about it, because I don't know anything about him. The only information I have about Bigfoot is what I've asked. I don't watch TV. I don't talk to people about it other than you guys. I don't inquire. The only people I inquire with are my guides or Aolan. But he told me that the one that I saw run across the road, the side road, the road that you turn down to go to Almoon Lab, I saw him run across that road. They told me that one is dangerous. And then that's when I asked about, okay, so what would he do? Or, you know, is it dangerous to be around him? And then they explained to me, they're like people. You have good people and you have bad people. And he's a bad people. So you don't, like, he'd be one that would throw crap at you or chase you, you know what I mean? He would also, they've shown me that he's gone up to houses and maybe knocked on houses or cars. So if you've had anybody that has complained about that in that area, it could be that particular one. He's also a lighter color, just so you know, like a lighter brown color. I don't know why they want me to tell you that. Almost like a reddish color, if I should say.
So would they consider like probably obviously intimidation type tactics, but like even maybe some of the knocking or stuff like that? It almost seems like maybe playful or just...
He's not playful.
He's not playful?
No.
Okay. It's more...
He's aggressive.
Okay.
And that's what they told me, and they said just if you see him, stay away.
Okay.
So...
Do some of them do that playfully with like...
I think so, because I've seen like the younger one do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So...
Would that be more like juvenile behavior?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say you see them, Tara, explain to the audience the difference between you seeing them in your mind and you seeing them. Like,
so,
do you know the difference? Is it confusing?
I know the
for you?
difference. No.
Okay.
The only time that was confusing was the first time because I've never seen one, and 100% with our eyes we saw him the first time. Now when I see him in my head because I'm not seeing him, and when I communicate with him, I see him in my head. When I saw the younger one running in the ravine, I was seeing him in my head and with my eyes. It was like off and on, but he kept jumping in and out of the portal. And because he was following my truck and he was like going in and out. And it's like he wasn't running like humans run, if that makes sense. And he was going fast and he kept popping in and out. So it's like I'd get a flash with my eyes and then it's like in my head. I don't know how to explain that.
This is what Daryl described. He described the Sasquatch he saw, I'll just say the road, Shoestring Road, power lines, underneath the Bonneville power lines, broad daylight. He said it was running and skipping through time.
Yes.
And I said, what do you mean skipping through time? He's just like, I don't know how to say it. It's just like
going in and out.
Ungodly fast, but it's like he wasn't there in flashes.
Yeah.
Like
that's what this one was doing.
Okay.
So they can do that, obviously. Like, I didn't know that, but they can do that because I've seen it.
Have you ever heard the legend, we'll say, of a senator's husband accidentally killing a Sasquatch on Shoestring Road?
No.
You ever heard this?
I really don't hear much of anything.
Okay.
Like, when I say the only info I have is from the one I communicate with, I truly mean I don't really talk to anybody.
Okay.
I don't read anything, so unless you tell me about it, I really don't know. There may have been one or two things that I've heard somebody say now that I'm around more people who have seen them, but I haven't heard of that.
How do the UFOs fit into this? Because just as much UFO and ghost activity, just as much Bigfoot and ghost activity is UFO activity.
Yeah.
How does this fit into this?
So from what I've been told is they go to the same place. They're in the same place because of the energy, right? If it's a sacred space for us, it's a sacred space for them. It's got to be the energy that's there because it's all energy. Everything's energy, right? But I've been told that they are not connected in the way that people think that like Bigfoot and aliens are connected. They're not. I've been told they are not connected in that way. They're not from the same place at all. I am not going to 100% say an alien has not taken a Bigfoot. They take people. Why wouldn't they take Bigfoot? But they're not connected in the way that they like conspire with each other, hang out, come from the same place. I don't know how else to say that.
So they might cross paths in the same area for like the power or energetic purpose.
But I don't, and they also, because Aolan are telepathic and aliens are telepathic, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't communicate.
Yeah.
They communicate with us. They've just never shown me that they're the same, like, or together or conspiring together or whatever. I don't see that. And again, I'm not saying it's not possible. It's just they've told me that that's not the answer to that.
Have you ever been approached by any 3-letter agency or law enforcement
Nope.
to work for them?
No, but I've stayed off the radar.
Well,
I've
until
tried to
now,
stay off
I mean,
the radar.
until
I've
now.
tried to stay below the.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
now with 1 million hits,
Yeah, nobody has contacted me in
would
any.
you ever work for a 3-letter agency if they asked you, like, hey, you know?
Depends on what they pay, I guess.
Yeah, right?
Right? It just depends on what they're doing. I would never do anything to harm. Because what I've seen is, and I don't know what agency it is. I know it's part of the government, right? Can I say that? Or at least an offshoot or something that they have captured at least 2, because I've seen 2 in captivity that they're using, and they're doing something with their blood.
Wait, now say that again. The 3-letter agencies are using Bigfoot blood?
So I don't know who it is. All I know is it's government, because I got the word government, and I don't know who in our government. I'm pretty sure our government's involved, because I don't think they would, I guess they would show me, but I don't know. But either governments or government have captured at least 2, currently, because I can see them captured in a facility. And if you want me to go into detail of what I can see, I can tell you. I also verified that with someone else to see if they could, without telling them anything, see if they could see anything. And they did see kind of similar what I've seen with the 2
What
that
do
are
you think
captured.
is unique about their blood?
I don't know. They haven't told me. They said that they're studying it and using it. And there's something different about it, that they're using it. And I can see them literally like taking it and using it and studying it. And I don't know what they're going to do with it, because I haven't been told.
Okay, one of the other things that people talk about on or near the property is not only UFOs, but non-terrestrial beings like mantids. Or Daryl says he saw like a 12-foot tall silver man with a pointy hat. It looked physical. Mm-hmm. What are these things?
So it's hard to give names to things. Like, I think he told me about the silver man. The creatures, they say, are called elementals. And I don't know much about it. Like, I'm not a witch in this life, so I couldn't tell you. But it's so busy up there that I haven't even had time to ask about every single thing that people have asked about what's up there. I've seen enough to probably write a book, like a picture book. If I was an artist, I would like draw them all. But there's so much stuff up there. I bet you could see something different every week if you went up there. There's just so much stuff up there, and it has to do with the energy in the land.
Have you had any dealings with the Greys?
No. No.
You feel like they're physical or spirit?
They're physical. Yeah.
Okay. What about mantids?
I don't even know what that is.
Like a praying mantis type?
I haven't ever seen one. I've never asked about it. I would have to ask.
Okay.
When I say like I don't ask questions, I really don't until I experience it. Like, I don't really know unless somebody talks to me about it, and then I'll have to ask about it.
That's fair.
Okay. So one of the weirder things that happened in Daryl's story, the almoon lab, our story, is this handprint. Little tiny, almost look like deformed child's 4-fingered handprint on the door, chalky white, oily. And I was like, you showed me this video, and I think it was before we found this handprint, and then suddenly this video disappeared. But in this video is this hand. Like it's
identical.
Identical.
It is. It's identical.
And it's like coming out of the moon. Like, I don't know, it looks like a full moon in the distance, like the almoon, and here comes this black hand out of the frame, kind of wiggling, and moves off to the side from right to left for maybe just a half a second or a second.
Yep.
What's going on with this footage? What is that?
It's so weird. Okay, so we were up doing a clearing, and it was a full moon, and so I was trying to film the moon. We pulled over to film the moon, and so I was doing that, and that hand just came right in front of my camera. And it scared the crap out of me, because it was right there, you know, when you're looking at your phone. And so of course I put my phone down, it's not there. And I'm like, what was that? I have no idea what that was. And then I showed it to you, and you either had the same handprint right after that, I think, And then I looked everywhere for that video for a whole year. It's been more than a year. I couldn't find it. And then all of a sudden, I have a new phone. It pops up on my camera roll. That's when I sent it to you. It was gone. Like I thought I lost it.
Oh, was it saved to the cloud, maybe?
I don't have the cloud.
It wouldn't be in the cloud.
I don't have the cloud. No.
That doesn't make any sense.
Wow.
Like it literally, the new phone that I got, I was looking through pictures for my mom for the thing, and it just was there, and I was like, you've got to be kidding. I sent it to you after I found it again, but it had been missing for a long time, because I think you asked me for it like over a year ago, and I couldn't find it.
Here's the deal, is that there's a lot of people. I'll just go to one example. There's a guy named Daryl Sims. They call him the alien hunter. He takes implants out of people. He's worked with Dr. Lear. He's been on several shows. We talked about that handprint because it looked like the same handprints he's finding on abductees, like on their window, on their abdomen, all over the world.
Yep.
And they're oily.
Yep.
Sometimes they burn. They're usually four-fingered. They're bent, kind of like in weird angles. And they have kind of bulbous tips, almost like a gecko or something.
Right.
I don't know. So he's thinking these come off of aliens.
I 100% agree with that.
You do?
And I think it's the only encounter that I know of that I've had. When I saw it, that's the first thing that went through my head is alien, and then we got the heck out of there.
Wow.
I mean, it was dark. I was scared. I was like, I don't know. All I got in my head was it's alien related, and we got to leave.
Have you ever had missing time?
That I know of, no.
Have you ever been gone for several hours, but to you only minutes?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Have you ever been abducted? Do you remember?
Not that I know of.
You don't have any memories of like spacecraft or anything like
Nope.
that? Nope. Okay. And what's the difference between an alien and an elemental, or?
So aliens are physical like ours, like us. And they're from other places, but not other dimensions, I guess. I don't know how to explain that.
People are talking about the year 2027 as being like an arrival date for the aliens coming here.
Oh, for the aliens coming here. I don't know. Okay, so I've been told that we're in a shift. That's what they call it, the shift. I've been told the veil is thinning. I've been told that in this shift, things are going to get much worse. I've been told that the 40s, more towards the late 40s, things are going to basically explode or whatever. Like things are going to happen. And I have been told that right now, there are more people, souls on Earth than any time in the history of Earth that are either from other places, like other galaxies, aliens as we call them. They're from Atlantis, Lemuria. And the reason that we're all here right now is because of what's happening, because a lot of people that are here now are experienced in things that have happened before that are similar to what's going to happen here now. I don't know the details. They've not told me, and part of that is probably because it's part of my timeline or my path. But I don't have details, just that we're in a shift. I've also been told that some religions think the Antichrist is here and all of that. I don't believe in any such thing.
Tara, so that was your first conference, Oak Ridge this year, Sasquatch Summerfest. The first time I'd seen you on stage with your momager, who's kind of like your road manager, right. Super cool gal. We all stayed at Airbnb together. Super supportive of you, just like we are. I feel as though you should be doing this full time, but you're not yet. Like, you do readings with people, but you want to be able to like support your family, right, and make this transition between having a normal job and having the job that fits you better, which is what we're talking about. So having a career doing this, is that something you want to pursue? And if so, how can people reach out to you?
So it's something I want to pursue, but it scares me, to be honest, because I'm not comfortable being in the public eye. So it's kind of scary. But the other side says I'm supposed to be doing it. So I'm trying to balance that and fight that fear to do it publicly.
Would you be willing to set aside some time and book appointments, maybe something like that in the future with us? I
agreed that I would, with my momager, as you say, that I might do some on Mondays. It's my day off. Maybe like 3. I can't do the all day thing again. That I slept for 2 days after that. I can't do that. again, but maybe do like 3 every week until I can see if it has a potential, and then go from there.
Okay. Any last words in 1 minute or less for the audience?
I think they can reach me through your website, right? And I've got a website. I just don't have it memorized.
Bigfoot Doc at bigfootdoc.com, I think is how they reach you. Is there not a Tara Harris?
There is. I don't have it memorized,
Okay.
but I think you can look it up. And also, I want to apologize. I have a waiting list. I work like 80 hours a week. So once I'm not doing that, I will get to everybody.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Tara.
All right. Thank you.